Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. It is a Tuesday tailgate talk with Colorado LTAP and Front Range Community College's Highway Maintenance Management degree program. The purpose of these talks typically focus on safety. We're bringing them every other week just so we can kind of still connect with you and bring you relevant information throughout kind of your busy season without a huge time commitment. These recordings are also available on our website under Tailgate Talks and Workshops. Just a shameless plug for our Wednesday workshops. We'll be kicking those off in the next few weeks. The information's on that same website. Those are going to be at 3 p.m. on alternating Wednesdays, and we're bringing in vendors and industry professionals to talk about some hot topics. So thanks for being here, and I will pass it over to Sue.
Excellent. Thanks, Heather. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talks. Today we're talking about slips on snow and ice. Get my slides to work here. Working. Okay. I don't know why they're not advancing. Do it a different way. Okay, slips on snow and ice. Why are we talking about slips on snow and ice? Well, first of all, this applies to all of you who are out there. Anybody's out there in the winter right now, and it can prevent life-altering injuries or worse. So let's get started here. Cold weather always increases the chances of slipping and falling due to snow and ice, right? Penguins, like these here, have little bodies that are designed to help them slip and fall safely. They make, slipping and falling part of the trip. And when they land, they very rarely break any kind of wing, limb, flipper, leg, whatever penguins have there. They don't break them when they fall. But people do. We fall hard, just like this graphic shows right here. And when we fall, we break things in this order. These are the bones that we break: our collarbone, arms, ankles, legs, and wrists. Some of these injuries can take months to heal, or even years, and never guarantee full range of motion when you do heal. They also account for between 15 and 20% of all workers' comp costs, according to the National Safety Council. The U.S. Department of Labor says that slips, trips, and falls make up almost the majority of all general industry accidents, and that's 15% of all accidental deaths at work every year, which is the second leading cause of death at work. 25% of all reported injuries or claims per fiscal year, and more than 90 million lost work days per year. That's about 65% of all the lost work days from injuries. So, since none of us are penguins, let's talk about a few precautions we can take to keep ourselves and our coworkers from becoming the next tailgate topic. Having snow and ice removal supplies, first of all, shouldn't be too big of a problem for most of you, but if you're responsible for some of the more isolated facilities in your area, you might want to make certain that shovels and de-icers are available for walkways or any other areas that people will need to access when they come to work. Clear all these areas, access and egress areas, make sure all the entries and exits are clear so that doors open and that there are no obstructions in the path. So in a nice clear path you can see on the sidewalk, but in the other picture with the circle on it, don't be this guy here who's making just barely enough room, to get the door open, or it looks like he's trying to make a path for his little dog to get out or something. Don't do that. And don't pile the snow up. Give yourself plenty of room, clear it all the way out so that you can get out of there in case there's a fire or any kind of an emergency. And the other thing too is when you're shoveling your snow away from these things, and you all know this, put it where it won't, melt and leave ice after, just refreeze on the walking surface. Put it, on the low side where it'll drain away. It might become necessary for you to sometimes close an area, a walkway, or block an area that you can't treat. And your reasons for doing this could be many, right? It can range from anything from too much snow, lack of resources, you just can't prioritize it, you just don't have the staff to go out there and do it, or maybe it's just a seasonal low priority, right? You're going to worry about the path to the swimming pool, in April or something. And discourage people as much as possible from taking shortcuts through these areas or walking over piles of snow and ice. It's only going to increase the chances of your, giving yourself a pretty serious injury. you know your areas better than anybody, but so learn where the cold spots are, right? Learn where the problem areas are and make those your priority. The dark spots, the shady areas, the places that don't get much sun and, can't dry up as quickly, places that have sheet flow runoff and refreeze when the temperatures drop, the places where drifts accumulate, overhangs, drips from overhangs, things like that. Find those places and make them your priority to get the snow and ice off. The less problems you have, the better your chances of not having an injury. Check these areas regularly. Also watch for overhead icicles and knock those down as necessary. I've seen some serious head injuries from icicles falling on people. They're razor sharp, and they probably won't even see it coming. Most of the people I know that have had head stitches never saw the ice coming. Test the surface, right? When you just get there, before you step on the surface, check it. Start by sliding your foot over the nearest walking surface and then take a couple of steps shortly, short, gingerly steps. Hold on to something if you can. Be prepared to fall, but find out what you'll be walking on before you head into it full stride. Never run on icy surfaces and never run at work unless something's on fire, really, but especially never run on snow and ice. All right, you've heard this before. Maintain 3 points of contact when entering and exiting vehicles and equipment. Never jump off a piece of equipment, and make sure you check the surface for snow and ice or any other debris before you place your foot or grab the surface, right? 3 points of contact. You've heard that before. You'll probably hear it again. All right. Anytime the temperature drops below the freezing point or near the freezing point even, could be a chance for you to fall on snow or ice. Be ready to fall. Move your center of gravity low and keep it right over your feet. Here's how you learn how to fall, right? This is according to the Harvard School of Health. This is what they recommend for learning how to fall. So lean forward into the fall. This gives you some control over the direction that you're going to go. Fall sideways as much as possible. Aim towards areas where, it have a softer surface, grass or dirt or something besides pavement or concrete. Something smooth if possible. Aim your body away from other people and away from objects that can puncture or cause wounds and fractures. Swing your arms sideways so that you can direct your fall and give your body a little momentum. Twist your shoulders to protect your head so that you can tuck in a little bit. Keep your knees bent and your feet down so your center of gravity is low and you fall a little less hard. Fall on the soft, fleshier parts of your body, the thighs, the butt, places that have more protection or are at least lower to the ground. Try to avoid landing on your knees, wrists, and elbows. Those are really bad spots to land and could break. As you complete the fall, try to do a tuck and roll on your side into a ball. This will spread out the fall and reduce injury and keep you from rolling further away. Um, to keep you from falling in the first place, though, try to avoid having leather-soled shoes. I know a lot of work boots out there. If you do tree work or things like that, you've got some pretty expensive leather-soled shoes out there, and they make really good work boots, but they offer no slip resistance on snow or ice. Wear shoes made from soft rubber materials or neoprene or crepe materials. For working, most places follow the ANSI Z41 standard for safety shoes, and this requires them to have a certain compression test or impact test. Doesn't do anything, say anything about the soles on them, though. There's no recommended material for walking on snow and ice, but you can purchase something like the product you see here to go over your shoes. They're well worth a few dollars that you can spend on them, and they're like having tire chains on your feet. I have never regretted having them and always wished I had when I needed them. So after you make it to the door, now that you've gone through all that and you've gotten to the door, remember to wipe your feet and not track the snow and ice into the room. People won't be expecting it to be across the threshold generally in a public place usually. So use mats in the doorways of high volume foot traffic if possible. If not, keep it as clear as possible with mops and squeegees, whatever you need. Just so that you can reduce the chance of anybody slipping and falling on a wet or icy floor. Change these things often and keep it as dry as you can. Check them periodically for curling edges and wrinkles. Sometimes you can put a worse hazard down if these things start to get aged and don't fall flat. but don't duct tape it to the floor or do anything like that. You're making it worse if you do that. Replace it with something new or remove it. So watch your step out there, guys. Let's look at a review of the things we talked about. Keep a clear path as much as possible. Don't take any shortcuts. Know where all your hazards are at your facility. Check the surface before you start walking. Don't run or hurry. Maintain 3 points of contact while entering and exiting vehicles and equipment. Learn how to fall. Here's a quick review. Tuck head and shoulders, knees bent, relax, kind of fall like a sack of beans, and then roll onto your side. Invest in some kind of traction for your shoes or good rubber-soled shoes for walking on snow and ice, and keep your doorways free from tracked snow and ice. So I want to thank you all for coming again and participating in Colorado LTAP Tailgate Talks. I hope you found the safety information reminders helpful and that you incorporate them into your daily routine. I always like to lead this type of a safety talk by letting everyone know that we're not doing this because something might happen. We're doing it because these things already have, and these are the lessons we've learned from them. So that is it. I will take any questions now. Thank you.